What up, Kane fans? Welcome back to the show. Please, by the way, let me know. I'm trying something new with the audio. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, welcome back. We are here 2.5 weeks from the season opener. It's mid-August. It's honestly one of my favorite times of the year. I love August because it's the anticipation for a new season. Um, and a new season brings with it a lot of excitement, a lot of unknown, and certainly this coming season is no different. Uh, got a few guys in the chat already. Rob Roy, Mitch, good to see you guys. Lex, what's going on? And as you saw probably in the title of the video, I will be having a guest. He actually just entered the waiting room right now, so I will bring him on in a second. Before we start, as you enter, please, you know the drill, hit the like button, share with your friends, let them know what we're on, and hit that subscribe button, of course. Don't forget that. Also, before I start, I want to thank the viewers, the guys that hit that like button, that shared the video of my post scrimmage thoughts on Saturday. It was actually one of my more viewed videos, so I appreciate you guys. I know a lot of you had something to do with that, so thank you for that. And without any further ado, let me bring on my guest. Let's see if we can hear. Will, can you hear me?
Hey, John, how are you? How's it going?
Hey.
Cut off for like a second there.
You did? Okay. I can hear you fine now. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear right now. You just cut off a couple times here and there, but I can hear you just fine now. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing good, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you just fine. Guys in the chat, if either one of us is cutting in and out, please let us know. They let us know right away, trust me. So Will, I got a chance to talk to you. A little bit after the scrimmage. Now that you've had a chance to, I guess, marinate on it the last few days, let me know your thoughts. What did you like? What did you not like? What did you get? What did you get surprised by? What did you not expect to see?
Well, I arrived at scrimmage a little bit late, but I heard the first team did really well. TVD led a very good drive. Mark Fletcher was excellent. As far as running goes as well. In the beginning. But when I arrived there, I will say this: I was impressed with the defense. I thought the pass rush was really intense. I liked what I saw with the front four. I love LT3. LT3 busted through that middle and was able to get TVD at one point as well. I agree with you. I now see, what you see in AJ Allen. AJ Allen is going to be, a major player for the Canes. First of all, I think the running back room for the Miami Hurricanes is not going to be a problem at all this season. With Mark Fletcher, with AJ Allen, with Henry Parrish, and everybody else who's Don Chaney Jr., who's slated to come back. I do think the Miami Hurricanes will be fine at running back. First team, I heard offensive line could be pretty solid, even though you will have a young freshman starting at right tackle. Not going to be a problem. What I didn't like and what I was afraid of was, unfortunately, Ja'Cory Brown. I thought Ja'Cory Brown had the same struggles on Saturday that he had at the spring game and that he had last season as well. Phenomenal athlete, okay? Phenomenal athlete in terms of running, as far as running goes. But the accuracy is still an issue with him. And I don't think there's a competition for QB2. Although Emory Williams didn't light up Saturday either. I do think that he's the better passer, as we can see, so far. Yeah, I agree with Marcus Henshaw. Okay, I do think Emory's going to be number 2. And then when Tyler Van Dyke leaves for the NFL, if he does decide to go to the NFL, you're going to see pretty much a battle for that QB1 spot. I don't think anybody's going to run away with it. Again, defense very good. Jaden Wayne 3 sacks, as reported. Ruben Bain also I heard did really well as well in the game. So I really do think that as far as the front 7 is going to go, I think the Canes will be really solid. Even though Kobe Young, who looked phenomenal, had a phenomenal catch and a fade route from TVD in the end zone with a defender draped all over him. That was still very good coverage, all right, as well. Mm-hmm. So again, I did see some improvements in defensive backs. The pass rush was there, which it wasn't last year on many occasions. LT3, I expect him, if he's put in constant rotation, is going to have a monster year, right, as well. So that's what I like. Again, my biggest issues was the inconsistency with the second and third team. That was a bit of a problem. And of course, Ja'Cory Brown still has some passing struggles to get over.
Yeah, no, definitely. That was a big topic of conversation with Canes fans. Is Ja'Cory Brown didn't? I'll agree. He did not look good throwing the ball. But I will reserve my judgment, like my full analysis on him, before I can see him in an actual game, because you can tell he wanted to run on like half those plays, but he was like kind of hesitant staying in the pocket, because like those scrimmages, you're playing two-hand touch basically with the quarterback. So, and they know that. They know they're not going to get hit. So I don't like, I know on at least a third of those pass attempts, he's going through his progressions. After like read number 2, he's taking off and running. And he's hard to catch. He's tough to bring down. So I would like to see that in an actual game, but I would agree. Emory, based on his accuracy and how quickly he's developed, if I had to choose right now, yeah, he's probably your number 2 guy. But going into next season, I don't know if you agree, but I think we're going to the portal, or we're gonna go shopping around for quarterback competition going into
I think so. I agree with you. Yeah, I think there will be I think this will be like next year, where you had, I mean, the transfer portal has been loaded with starting quarterbacks, every year since the transfer portal has, started, so I do think that could be a possibility, unless Emory really develops. I see a possibility that we're really going to go into the transfer portal. Don't know who, we'll get, but definitely we'll get a definitely starting quarterback, definitely QB1. But again, I still think if we don't do that, I still think it's going to be, a free for all, for who's going to be QB1 next year. I think it's going to be quite a battle as well.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about the portal. You don't know who's going to be in there. There could be some studs in the portal. There could be any number of guys that are trying to up their draft stock, and maybe they see an opportunity to play right away, on the big stage. Because remember, next year we have a nice schedule. Next year we were playing Notre Dame. They pushed it back, but we're kicking off the season against Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So some high profile games next year. FSU at home. You got possibly Clemson on the road. I'm not sure if we play Clemson next year. I got to look at the schedule again, but it's a nice schedule. I think that would be attractive for a potential quarterback to come in, and with an improving team by next year, this team could look really solid, But aside from that, I agree. There was some big plays. There was some guys that popped and looked really good. My boy AJ Allen, I think, is going to start day 1. I've been saying that for a bit. But we'll start on the defensive side. There is one thing that concerns me, and it's stopping the run. Are we going to be able to stop the run consistently? Because we're deep at defensive end, got some bodies at linebacker, we're deep at corner, but it seems like up the middle, D tackle, safety, and really Mike linebacker, aside from Francisco, I don't like the depth. I don't like how thin we are there. So I'm hoping we can be disruptive enough to stop the run, but I don't know. How do you feel about the run defense going into the season?
Yeah, I agree with you. I do think it is a concern. I do think, because I don't think that we have the big bodies, to stop, a strong running game. It's one of the biggest things that was considered a weakness of the Miami Hurricanes. That's why I was really hoping and praying that Bear Alexander, when he was out in the transfer portal, the stud out of Georgia, would pick Miami, but he ended up going with USC. So I do think it's a bit of concern. I do think that if we have LT out there more often than Kevin Steele did last year, I think that could make a difference, because LT is Leonard Taylor, for those who don't know what LT means.
Mm-hmm.
He's very disruptive. He's in your face. He's very quick with his hands, and I do think he could be that defensive tackle that could also assist in stopping the run. But again, that also depends on the rotations that Lance Guidry wants to go with. But I don't think that we have enough size. We have the quickness and lateral movement, but not enough size, in the interior to be able to stop, let's say, a potent running team. Like, for example, Florida State last year killed us, and I hate Florida State. They killed us, basically by smashing us, down the middle. And I think that could be a problem this year again if we don't get things right. although I don't necessarily agree with you fully on the linebackers, I do think a lot of the young guys are really gonna step up. I do think, Popo Aguirre and Malik Bryant are gonna be playing a major role in the rotation of the linebacker. Corey Flagg, despite what a lot of Canes fans might feel, I might get killed for saying this, but Corey Flagg was a bit more improved last season and in seasons prior. And I like Mamigoa's brother. He's a tackling machine. He's a headhunter. So I do think if a back does end up in the second level, I don't think our linebackers will be a problem. And then of course, if he's 100% better and it's true it was a shoulder injury, James Williams will be playing a little bit of outside linebacker as well, and he's a big dude. So I think that he could be a problem, if he has his head on straight and stopping the run as well. So, and Caleb Spencer, has shown a lot. Markeith Williams. So I do think that we will see, the linebacker step it up this season. But I do agree with you. I do think the defensive tackle position in the interior could be a problem in terms of stopping the run.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing with the linebackers is I love our young talent. I love the freshman class. I think they're going to have bright futures. Pretty much every single one of them are already looking good. You got to remember they're freshmen, though. I mean, for a guy to come in and be like a stud, like consistently game in and game out, it's tough. You're going to see flashes here and there. They'll make a great play, then they'll make a mistake. That's just how it is with freshmen. So that's the only thing that concerns me. But yeah, no, linebackers I think are going to be solid against the teams we should be beating. The Clemsons and the Florida States, I think this could rear its ugly head where we try to stop the run, but it's a process, right? It takes time. We're trying to get there. But yeah, as for the D tackles, I really need Ahmad Moten, who I've been singing his praises since last year. He made a great play on a screen pass that we all saw if we were at the scrimmage on a screen. He read it perfectly. He batted it up in the air and almost picked it off. Yeah. He's a good athlete for a 300-pound guy, and he gets some good push. And if Josh Horton can give you some consistent play, those are two big shots in the arm right there as far as the D tackle position. It's very important that those two guys specifically play well this year. So that's my main concern on defense, honestly, is, kind of stopping that run straight up the middle. I think we have athletes. I think we have improved speed, though, on defense. What's one thing that's exciting you about this defense specifically?
I love our linebackers and at the ends, the linebackers and the ends. Okay. I like the young talent at the linebacker position because I'm really excited about seeing Malik Bryant step on the field, but I'm dying to see our ends. And I know he's a freshman, but I really want to see Ruben Bain, just get in there, and do what he did at Central and do it to teams, at the collegiate level. I'm really excited about our defensive ends. Like I said, I do think I was very happy with the pass rush at the scrimmage. I thought they were always in TVD's face, or Jacori's, or Emery, whoever was out there. And I expect a little bit of the same this season because we do have, blue chip, with Cyrus Moss, if he puts on a little bit of weight, with Cyrus Moss. Jaden Wayne's a big dude for being a freshman. Talk about a freshman coming in. He's a big dude. I mean, he's long and big, as well. Najee Kelly, coming in. I'm excited to see him as well. So we're very loaded at the end position. So that's the position on defense that really has me excited, as far as I think it's going to be a problem, even for teams like Clemson. When Miami has good defensive ends, their defense is much better because they force turnovers like interceptions. They bat balls down, put teams in third and long situations that they don't want to be in. So I really, really want to see the ends just explode. And I think they will with Guidry's defense.
Yeah. And I think we've improved the speed and athleticism, not just of the whole roster, but of the defense specifically. It showed really when we blitzed. It seemed like that dude was in TVD's face within a couple seconds, which was really nice to see. Bama Kane saying, so do you think we have to get a couple of runs in to get going? I'm guessing he means like get the running game going for the offense to get moving. I mean, maybe, but I feel like we have enough weapons on offense, again, especially against those teams that we should be beating. I think there's probably going to be like this offense, I think, will give us the opportunity to beat up on those 4 to 5 teams in our schedule that we can like run up the score on. Then there's a few that are kind of like 50-50 coin flip, the NC States and the Louisvilles that we should win, but it's going to be a dogfight. Yeah. And then you got those like 3 games that I just do not think we're going to win, hoping for an upset. But I don't know. I think this offense has quick strike ability. What do you think?
I think it does, especially with Tyler Harrell. Tyler Harrell, the speedster out of Louisville, played one season in Alabama, barely, but played one season in Alabama. I do think, when they talk about going vertical, I do believe they're going to go vertical. And I do believe Tyler Harrell, Kobe Young, I think is going to have a really good season as well. So I do think that we do have quick strike ability. Our slot receivers are pretty solid as well, whether it's Richard or even, Ray Joseph coming in. I do think the running game is going to be very important in November because we have 4 straight road games. November is going to be absolutely brutal. And that, don't laugh at me, but that game in Boston College is going to be freezing. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a bunch of South Florida kids going to Boston during Thanksgiving. The running game is going to be very pivotal in that moment. And I do think by the time we get to Boston, the Boston College game, the offensive line, will already be in sync, and the Dawson offense will already be supposed to be clicking because it's the end of the season. So do I think we have big play capabilities? Absolutely. I think we're far and beyond better this year than last year, and Dawson gets it. As far as the kind of personnel he has, the spread offense is going to be very, very, very much used. But I do think that we will need the running game is going to be very essential, especially at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. I look at the schedule, right, and those 2 games, Louisville at home and then Boston College on the road. Those last 2 games, I think those games are going to be more important than people think. Not just to like if that 8th win can be on the line against BC. Yeah, it could be, but it's important because it'll show me if the culture of the team is turning a corner. If, let's say they're going into those final 2 games with 4 losses, 5 losses, God forbid, but they're still playing hard. Let's say they go out there and have an impressive showing against Louisville. Louisville's not bad. Louisville's a solid team. Mm-hmm. I could totally see a situation where, we beat Louisville and then have it like a tough go of it against BC. I could totally see that happening. But I need to see us continuing playing those last 2 games as if something is on the line, because it is. Pride's on the line. You're trying to set that stepping stone for next year. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, yeah, if we are turning the corner culture-wise, we should have no problem against BC, because while it's going to be cold, BC is not a good football team. They were 3-9 last year. No, that's just my opinion on it. I don't know how much they flipped their roster. They're just not a good football team. But Autism Awareness for Life is asking, do you think Bain will slide in as soon as he hits 290? I think you're going to see Ruben Bain sliding in at D tackle from day one. Like, not full-time D tackle. I think they're going to move him around. He'll become a full-time D tackle maybe by like next year, but they're going to move him around a lot.
Yeah. He doesn't want to. I'm going to be upfront. I mean, he doesn't want to, but I do see him in Mesidor's role. That Mesidor would play the D tackle position, and then whatever it called for, he will go to defensive end. He's just that big. Also, he's 6'2", so he can get under some of those bigger he's 6'2". He's also very athletic, so he can get under those interior linemen a bit more.
Mm-hmm. Have you noticed Ruben Bain's like lower half specifically? The dude,
he's huge.
The dude has like redwood tree trunks.
Yeah, he's huge. He's absolutely huge. He's a monster.
He's a monster, but a lot of it is like from here down. Like each leg is like this big.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's a genetic freak.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
Ruben, I am so excited to watch that guy play football.
So am I. And he has a chip on his shoulder because although he was highly recruited and he's a 4-star, I do think in the back of his head he feels like I do. He deserved that 5th star. So I do think that's gonna motivate him to maul people. He's already mauling Maui Goa in practice from what I've heard. Maui Goa is set to start, from day one. So no disrespect to Maui Goa. This guy sacked like 90 sacked a quarterback 90 times, I think in his high school career. So and against very, very, very elite competition. He wasn't facing any slouches, So I'm excited. I really am.
I'll give you an example. Last year, I remember watching, probably a lot of people in the chat watched it online. I don't know if you did, the IMG Central game last year where they matched up against each other in high school.
I saw clips.
Yeah. I took the time. I watched most of the game. And I remember Bain lined up at D end, and Maui Goa actually did a solid job shutting him down.
Okay.
And they moved Maui Goa inside, and I think he was going up against specifically the Gator commit, the guard from IMG that ended up going to Florida. I think Harris was his name, and maybe and a couple other guys. They moved him inside, and he ended up in the second half. Bain was the best player on the field from the D tackle spot, and I think Bain never forgot that Maui Goa got the better of him, because what you're saying is the same thing I've heard, that Bain has pretty much gotten the better of him in practice for the most part, which is incredible because Maui Goa is one of the top 5 or 10 overall players in this year's class. But
yeah, I agree.
But yeah, no, it's going to be fun. Those guys, iron sharpens iron. Those guys going up against each other, it's only going to make them better. Marcus says, how are we doing on drop passes? Is it getting better? It's been a huge problem for years. It's getting a little better. They're still kind of there. There were some drops at the scrimmage that were like mainly screen passes coming out of the backfield that just execution in general was a little sloppy. The throw was behind, the throw was high. Sometimes it hit him in the hand and he dropped it. But, I would say from receivers, though, the receivers specifically, not the running backs or, tight ends, receivers have gotten better hanging onto the football, but there are still some drops.
Yeah, I saw the same thing. I don't remember which receiver it was, but I saw TBD threw it behind a receiver, but it hit the receivers in the hands, and that's usually a catch receivers make. Even though it was behind him, that's usually a catch receivers make, and that was a major drop. That could have gone for some yards if he would have caught the football, because he was way in front of his defender, at the time. So that's it's not as big a problem, and the reports coming out of guys like Brian Smith and Dono and so on is that the drops have gotten, they're still kind of there in Dawson as well. They're still there, but there's not as chronic as it was last season, with last year's offensive coordinator.
And I will say this, specifically the starting 3, like X, Kobe, and Jacoby. You don't really see them dropping the ball much, at least from what I've seen and what I've heard. So
no, Kobe's been solid and X has been solid.
Yeah.
Jacoby George, from what I've heard from Dawson, he's either electric or he disappears, as far as in practice. But as far as being, consistent, Kobe Young and X-Men have been, well, X has always been consistent. He's a freshman, so it's never been a problem.
Yeah. No, I feel like it's improving. And you're never going to here's the thing. You're never going to totally eliminate drops. It's like eliminating strikeouts in baseball. Some guys are going to strike out. It just happens. You're going to have a handful of drops, but as long as it's not like, okay, third down, we really need this one, and somebody's butt naked wide open in the middle of the field for a big play, and it hits him in the hands, and he drops it. And it's like his 7th drop of the game. I don't want to see that anymore. That was the problem a few years ago. I don't think it's...
No, it's not going to happen. I don't think it's... I mean, it could happen, but it's going to be chronic, which was a problem, was chronic. Like, last year, we lost the game because of a drop. Aside from not being able to score from 5 inches away, over there, but there was a major drop on 2 occasions with, I believe it was Parrish and Rashard Smith had 2 key drops that cost Miami the game and put Texas A&M back on the field.
Rashard's drop, I think, was what ended the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was.
I remember that. It would have been a first down, kept the drive going.
Yeah, and Parrish would have been a touchdown. He was wide open.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, in the first quarter, I think it was.
My brain, how your brain blocks out trauma? It blocked that out. No, and I'm remembering the biggest one in recent memory is the Will Mallory drop against Michigan State. That would have been a totally different ballgame if he catches that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. That changed momentum in favor of Michigan State. Miami would have had a touchdown. I think Borregales missed a field goal in that instance as well. It led to a field goal. Yep. He missed it. It would have been 17-10 or 17-14, and then Michigan just ran all over Miami after that. That was, I think that was a famous game where Jervis Hall tackled his teammate.
Yes, he tackled the wrong guy.
Yeah, he tackled the wrong guy. So poor guy. Gervin Hall tackled the wrong guy.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a pass. I don't want to talk about that. Chris Gons, John and Will, how many freshmen do you think how many do you think could see playing or starting on both sides of the ball? I'll start with you. Who do you think could? Let's start with who could see playing time, and then tell me who do you think might start.
Okay, on the defensive side of the ball, a lot of playing time is going to go to Popo at the linebacker position. Malik, defensive ends, they'll be on rotation. You'll probably see Jaden Wayne quite a bit. You'll see Ruben Bain on occasion as well. You may see at the defensive back position, you'll see Damari Brown get some run, and Robert Stafford. I've heard good things about him. He might get some run as well. Marcellus Pullum as well might get some run as well. I've heard good things about him as well. As far as playing time goes, on the offensive side of the ball, Ray Joseph is going to get on the field because Dawson said he likes having a rotation of receivers. He's not married to 5 guys like a lot of teams are. So Ray Joseph will get some run. The tight ends, Riley Williams is going to get a run as well. Mark Fletcher definitely is going to get some run. Chris Johnson, I'm not sure yet. Maybe against teams like Miami, Ohio, he might come in, but I'm not sure yet, just because of the depth of the running back room as well. As far as starting goes, the only one I think is a lock will be on offense will be Maui Goa. And I'm not sure on defense. If I was to pick a starter, it might be Ruben Bain, but I don't think that you'll really see some starters. I think it's going to be the core like Jafar Harvey, so on. You see Najee Kelly on the other side, and then you're going to see, Maui Goa starting, who's not a freshman. He's a transfer guy. You'll see Corey Flagg as well. So I really don't see any freshman defenders starting, but I do see one guy on offense, which would be Maui Goa at the right tackle position starting, but the freshman will get a lot of playing time, especially since those are Mario's guys. Those are the guys that he himself, picked out.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much all the guys you said about that they're going to get some burn. A lot of people are talking about Damari Brown maybe starting, which is great that he's looking that good. I mean, he comes from a DB factory in American Heritage, but I don't think he leapfrogs guys like Jadis Richard, Jaden Davis, who are talented. They're good. They've played in big games. They have experience. I don't think he leapfrogs them just yet. Maui Goa starts day one. I think by the end of the season, though, Bain and Fletcher are both starting.
Okay.
That's my prediction. You can't keep the Ferrari in the garage too long. That's just my opinion. And you know what? I've been hearing good things about Okunlola lately. Maybe you see him get maybe not starting 5 by the end of the season. Hopefully, we're still healthy by then. You'll see Pancake as that 6th or 7th guy rotating in a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. No, I totally agree with you. I mean, I'm assuming Chris's question was referencing the start of the season, or maybe the first game. So that's why I answered it. Yeah, that's why I answered the way I answered. But I agree with you. I think Fletcher could be a starting running back or be heavily used in the rotation. And I agree with you as far as Bain as well. Because you're right. He's a Ferrari. He's an absolute Ferrari.
Now here's my question to you: who do you put on kickoffs and punts?
Ooh, that's a good one. Tyler Harrell is one I would use in kickoffs and punts. I still like X-Man as well. He's proven to be a good returner. I would also rotate, not have one guy because it could lead to injury, especially since X-Man's a starter. I would put Ray as well, in punt returning punts.
Yep. Perfect timing. As I asked it, he asked it. One thing I heard was returning kicks and punts. Yeah. I do like X because he's reliable. Obviously, that's kind of been their approach, though, the last few years. You have the sure-handed guy back there. Mm-hmm. I want a playmaker back there. I would like to see either Brashard Smith or Tyler Harrell on kickoffs that could just run really fast in a straight line. Or I would like to see on punts, so no Bobby. Well, you're talking about Bobby Washington. Bobby Washington's, linebacker. That's another guy I forgot about. He could get some burn this year. You're right. Bobby's actually been very good.
Yeah, no, I forgot about him too. Unfortunately, I forgot about him. He's a sideline guy too. He's a missile as well.
Yeah, a lot of freshmen are going to start. Not start, but play. I'm thinking about it. But on punt returns, I want to see. Yeah, if it's a situation where it's like, okay, we just have to field this punt cleanly to close out the game. Yeah, I want X back there. But if it's earlier in the game, you want a big play. I I think I want to see Ray Ray back there, to be honest with you, or Shamar Kirk, maybe somebody like that.
Yep.
So I just wanted to ask because I think we have a lot of options now.
Yeah, well, we definitely do. There's a lot of depth in that, and in terms of punt returners. There's a lot of speed too, as well that we didn't have in previous years. There's a lot of speed. Shamar Kirk, Bashard, of course, is another one too that could be used in kickoffs.
Yeah, and it's not just the speed. Like the speed of the whole team, like I said earlier, has improved. And with all these younger guys, you're going to see them get burned on special teams as well. That's going to help kickoff coverage. That's going to help punt return coverage. I think you'll see more of those because how hyped do you get when you're at the stadium? We kick it off and we bury the returner at like the 12-yard line. Mm-hmm. Team gets hyped when that happens. So I think it's going to help a lot. You're going to be good on kickoffs. Hot take. All right. I love these. Angel Kane says, hot take. You think we, what? What do y'all think? Do you think we get an 90 or 80-yard breakout TD runs this season with our new offensive line or our new options? Yeah, it's definitely possible. You got a guy in AJ Allen and another guy in Chris Johnson whenever you see him. And maybe Don Chaney. Guys that can, hit that home run running the ball. Oh, Chris Johnson's another guy. Yeah, you got a ton of options. But yeah, just going through seeing what other questions we have here. What's going on with the other freshman O-linemen? Well, from what I've heard, I think Tinalau was a little nicked up, but then I think I saw him get in the game at one point, or at least saw him in full pads. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe you can fill me in on that, but I'm trying to think who are the other O-linemen. Antonio Tripp,
I remember seeing Frank Tinalau. I don't remember seeing him.
You don't remember seeing? Okay.
No, I don't. I could be wrong, because I'm still trying to learn the numbers, a lot of the guys, but I don't remember actually seeing him.
Tommy Kinsler is somebody I saw play tackle in the scrimmage.
Kinsler, yes. Yes, I saw Kinsler as well.
What do you think about the size of that dude?
He's huge. And the good thing about him, too, if you want a big body at defensive tackle, you could use him there, too. He played both positions in high school.
Interesting.
Yeah, he played D-tackle, and he was actually pretty good, too. If you look at his huddle, you can check it out. He played D-tackle and an interior lineman. The kid's a good athlete. So if there's too much of the offensive line and you're getting machine gunned, up the middle by the running game, you can maybe incorporate him on a temporary basis as a defensive tackle.
Okay. Yeah, because that's kind of what we're missing at that D tackle spot, that plug. He's
a big guy. Yeah, he's huge. He's a good athlete.
Good athlete, yeah. So who are the other fresh? Oh, Antonio Tripp is the other one. I think he's a little banged up as well. So I haven't seen a lot of him. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, for the other freshman O-linemen. Again, Pancake and Maui Go are the ones going to be getting the most burn, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. We'll be on for a few more minutes. If you guys want to fire in some last-minute questions, please do. Curry Kane says, would you put Ray Ray in the backfield? Absolutely not. I don't want to get the kid killed. You don't want to leave the Ferrari in the garage, but you also don't want to, drive it off the highway. You don't want to get him to a 5-car pileup. No. All right, that's just my opinion. You wouldn't put him in the backfield either, right?
No. He's a slot receiver. Motion, yes, I would use him in motion to get a solid mismatch. But we have way too much talent, way too much speed, way too much power, in the running back position to have a wide receiver, slot receiver, to put him in that situation. So no, I wouldn't put him in the backfield at all.
Yeah, I agree. If there's anybody I would put in the backfield, maybe Brashard Smith.
Because he has experience. He's done it before.
Yeah.
That's why.
His, if I'm not mistaken, like most of, if not his entire senior year at Palmetto, he was taking snaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you want to try some Wildcat stuff, like we used to do with Greg Cooper at times back in the day.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be opposed to that. Okay, maybe you line up Jakaria at wideout. They're gonna come up with some wrinkles. I'm excited to see what they come up with.
I think for Jakaria they may have to if you're gonna have him in the game. Yeah, he might need his own package just for himself.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I could totally see that Brashard taking the snap, and you can throw a little double pass to to Jakari, and on one of those, on a trick play where maybe a guy's wide open, he's not going to miss that throw. You know what I mean? With the ability to run and all that. So yeah, I could see some wrinkles for sure. I know Arroyo's banged up, so will Williams be the next one in line at tight end? Let me tell you, another freshman that I forgot about, Riley Williams. Riley Williams, I think, has a chance to be the next great one at tight end. But so does Arroyo. Yeah, I love him. Arroyo's every bit of 6'5", 6'6". The guy is huge. He's listed at like 6'4" for some reason. He's closer to 6'6". I've stood next to the man. He's massive. So hopefully Arroyo's not banged up for too much longer. They're being very careful with him. They know what a weapon he is, not just blocking but receiving. But Riley Williams, yeah, it won't be long before he's the number 2 guy behind Elijah. And when I say won't be long, I'm talking like in the next few weeks to a couple months.
Yeah. He'll be on rotation. I can guarantee that. Again, Shannon Dawson's offense is not just married to 5 receivers. It's multiple guys touching the football with multiple talents and multiple abilities.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, and Riley Williams is another guy, 6'6", 250, can block, can run.
Yeah, last year's tight end class was very good. They did a good job recruiting.
Mm-hmm. Chris Gahn says, John and Will, how are the wide receivers Isaiah Horton and Frank Latson doing? I know Frank Latson has been doing much better, and he got some praise from his coach, from Coach Beard. Isaiah Horton, I haven't heard a lot about. Like, have you heard anything different there? On those
I heard he's doing very well in practice, and I heard he could be a sleeper this year in the red zone because he's about 6'4", 6'5". So don't be surprised if they have a red zone package where he may be involved. Mind you, we do have some big guys, at the receiver position this year with Horton, of course, with Colby Young, and you could even put Jaleel Skinner if you wanted to flex, even though he's a tight end. But I've heard some things about Isaiah Horton that he could be pretty good. Latson, I heard, has also improved very much so as well. Last year he disappeared, and I've heard in practice he's been much more live. He actually had a huge catch in practice. I think a couple weeks ago they featured on Kane's social media with a defender draped all over him. So he's looking a lot better. Every bit the 4-star that he was when he was recruited by Clemson.
Yeah, 4-star. I think on one, I don't know if it was Rivals or 247. On one of the publications, he was a 5-star.
He was a 5-star. Okay.
So he was elite.
Yeah, definitely was.
So yeah, if he can get some of that going, I'm not saying he's got to return to that 5-star elite status, but man, there's got to be something left in the tank. You were a 5-star for a reason. There's got to be something there. And Isaiah Horton, it's time. It's his 3rd year with the program, I think. It's time for him to start making noise. He was another 4-star recruit, highly touted guy that I remember Manny Diaz was going after hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love to see it. We would have a deep receiver room going into 2024. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
I think maybe we'll end on this one. This is a good one to end on. What makes FSU better than us? Everyone seems to think they will destroy us. You want to take this one first?
Sure. Well, FSU had a 10-win season, okay, and they won their bowl game, and they're recruiting very well right now, and that's why it is imperative that Miami wins this season and shows a lot more improvement, than they did last year. So that's why FSU, right now, they're the darling of the state of Florida because I will say they caught everybody by surprise. I didn't expect a 10-win season, especially after Mike Norvell the year prior, I think it was, lost to Jackson State. So that's why everyone thinks, and let's face it, they embarrassed us at home, this past season. They ran all over us, so that's why a lot of people feel that they're better than us. I personally, I know he gets a lot of praise. I'm not a big Jordan Travis guy. I think that Norvell has created a system on offense that benefits his talents, plus a stout running game that helps him out big time. I don't think he's that great. I think if you pressure him, he is still prone to turn the ball over, but nonetheless, that's what the perspective that a lot of people have, why Florida State is better than us and why they think they will kill us. Not only that, we're going over there to Tallahassee this upcoming season. So again, you're at a disadvantage because you're on the road as well. I personally think the Florida State game is important. I think it'll be a dogfight. I do think Miami could pull it out because it's a rivalry game. So, but I don't think they're going to kill us. I think this year you're going to see a football team that is out for blood because of what happened last season, and I do think they will be very competitive. They've recruited very competitive guys, and those guys are not going to go to Tallahassee and get the floor wiped with them. Okay, different offense this year as well. Last year's offense was very predictable, and for whatever reason, the coaches put Jake Garcia in a very bad situation. In that game as well after TVD went out. So I do think that you're not going to see those issues as far as quarterback rotation, as far as, predictability on offense as well and predictability on defense as well that you had with last year's coordinators. I do think that Miami will be better.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree with you. Yeah, they kicked our ass last year. I'll fully admit that. I was there sitting in row 7, hearing it from all the Florida State fans sitting around me because I sit on the visitor side.
John.
Yeah. So yeah, I sit behind the visitor bench, which is great when we're winning. The Notre Dame game in 2017, that was awesome. But for that game, yeah, we got our asses kicked. More than half the team quit minutes into the game, but I digress. That's how those blowouts happen. The team quits on you. Okay. I see it being a very competitive game. I agree. They do have more, I think, NFL-ready guys for sure. I mean, they got Jared Verse coming off the edge. That dude's a stud. You got, Jordan Travis played very well last year. The system and the way he played, it just all kind of synced up perfectly for him last year. Getting off to that fast start against LSU and getting that win, hanging on for that win, because LSU almost came back and beat them, which is why I think LSU beats them this year because they're not going to get caught off guard this time. And Brian Kelly, as much as I do not like that man, he's a hell of a coach. The guy can lead a program. The guy can, X's and O's recruiting. He can do it. Brian Kelly's a hell of a coach. He's one of the best.
Yeah. So John, so you don't like all of a sudden the Cajun accent he picked up when he got hired as the head coach of LSU?
Like I said, I don't like the man. There's many reasons I don't like the man. The man can coach football, and he's going to have LSU ready. They're going to beat FSU week 1. I'll be very surprised if FSU wins, honestly. If they do, hey, FSU's even better than I thought. But I don't think they win that game. But anyway, back to them. I think they're closer to being like a 9-win team rather than a national championship contending team. I think they're very good. They got a few guys like Verse and Jordan Travis and that running. I'm forgetting the running back's name right now, who's really good. They picked up a tight end and a good receiver in the portal. So they really loaded up on offense, where we can maybe take advantage is that blitz. Maybe we can it's very deceptive. We can disguise it, maybe cause, like Poobie is saying, Jordan Travis gets real happy feet. Maybe we can, we can cause some havoc in the backfield. That's the only way we're going to win that game, though. Yeah. I think they're kind of a year ahead of us, but I don't think the gap is, the 45-3 beatdown. I don't think the gap is as big as that score says, because like I said, if you watch the game, the team freaking quit minutes into the game. You could see it.
Yeah. Guidry's defense, if he what it does a lot of, it's very confusing, and that's what it did to Notre Dame. Last season when they went to South Bend and beat Notre Dame, with that Marshall football team. So it's going to be something similar. I do believe with Florida State. Florida State is going to have to run the football against Miami. I don't think that if it's a Jordan Travis led game, I know they have very good receivers and they have that freshman who we really wanted, Hakeem Williams. I don't know if I don't know how much run he's going to get, but he's a very good football player. We may be facing him, in Tallahassee. But I don't think that a game where Jordan Travis has to be the dominant factor is good for Florida State. I think Florida State's best when it's balanced. And again, they ran all over us last year. The running game was very good against LSU as well. They won their bowl game because they were a very balanced team. So I don't think, again, I'm thinking, beat down Manny Diaz, Jordan Travis. I'm thinking, if we would have blitzed in 4th and 13 and not dropped guys back, we probably would have won that game. So that's the Jordan Travis I keep remembering. I still think he's that guy. He's just in a better system, or a more improved system that suits that hides his weaknesses and uses his strengths to their abilities. But again, it has to be, where they stop the run, And then when they stop the run, put Jordan Travis in a bad position, send Ruben Bain, send Jaden Wayne, and let's see how good this guy really is.
I said earlier, I can't wait to see that man play football, Ruben Bain. I can't wait to see that man in Tallahassee against Florida State. that dude's going to be seeing red. Guys, if Miami gets consistent pressure from the front four, you don't have to blitz a lot. Totally agreed. And yeah, that's going to spell a lot of the success or lack thereof for the Miami defense. Can the front four stop the run? Can they get to the quarterback? So if we blitz, it's a big play. Yeah. Anyways, we're 45 minutes in, 115 in the chat. Nice. Thank you guys for being here. Please, Will, plug your stuff. So you have a big audience. You got 115 in the chat right now. Maybe some that haven't seen your stuff yet. Please let them know where they can find you.
All right, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for having me on here, Cafecito con Canes. Again, I say that you have the best name for a show, on YouTube when it comes to Canes football. It's amazing. Everybody, my name is Will, right? I'm the host of 305 Sports Now, right? Please like my channel. Please subscribe to it as well. You can find me there, of course, on YouTube, 305 Sports Now, in which I cover Canes coverage. I cover the Dolphins a bit. I cover the Heat a bit as well. I'm also on Twitter. You can find me at William Padron at 305 Sports Now, and also on Facebook with 305 Sports Now as well. So follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. I will follow you back, by the way, all right, on Twitter as well. And again, like and subscribe to my channel on 305 Sports Now.
All right, there you have it. Go follow Will. Go support him. Real quick, one last thing before I let you go. Are the Heat still getting Dame? What do you think?
I think they are, but like I told you in Flow, early at the end of June, early July, it's Portland's problem. Portland is the problem. I do think that he would have been. If I remember the Miami Heat, if Portland wasn't being so stubborn. So yeah, I do think eventually they get that deal done, because I think that right now Portland's in a hole where they can't dig out of. So yeah. I do think eventually the Heat get Dame.
They can't keep him. They can't trade him anywhere else. They're kind of stuck.
Yeah, they are. They are. And listen,
they're saving face right now.
And let me tell you, if guards are a problem, the Heat have some good young forwards they could use. I mean, Caleb Martin proved himself to be an elite player in the playoffs, or on defense and on offense. You can take Caleb. You have Jokic as well. You can take him as well. You could play the three. You could play the three as well. You also have Triple J. The rookie. He's shown some goods over in the G League. You could take in the summer league. You can take him as well. There are options that they don't necessarily have to take a guard. They can send Tyler Hero somewhere else, and get a couple of our forwards. And Miami's offered, I think, 2 or 3 first-round picks. I mean, Portland is the one that's being stubborn here.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, man. I'm gonna let you go, and please, again, go follow Will. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, do all that good stuff. And almost here, man. 2 more weeks.
I can't wait.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And yes, congratulations on D Wade, our boy, getting inducted.
Yes, well deserved.
Well deserved. All right, guys. It's all about the U.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Go Canes.
Canes.